Thank you all for coming this morning to this stone setting to pay respects and lekavod Chava bat Moshe David Shimon HaKohen, Chava Barsan, Zichrono Livracha. Everyone here knew Chava very well. But who was Chava? What was her essence? And I'll try in just a few moments to answer that question. Chava was born on the 13th of August 1938 in Graz, Austria. At the age of just 6 months, her parents moved to Palestine and settled in the sparsely populated and undeveloped Haifa on the Carmel, where she was brought up. Chava had a privileged upbringing. Her father owned a hotel, the Megiddo Hotel, and a matzah factory, Matzevah. Therefore, they were a very well-known family in Haifa. At the age of 18, Chava enlisted into the Israel Air Force, something she was very proud of. And she spent most of her service in Tel Nof Air Force Base. She was quite chuffed that years later, her son-in-law, me, and her grandson, Dov, both spent time in Tel Nof Air Force Base doing their parachute training course, and she enjoyed talking about the base, which of course had not changed. The family have heard numerous accounts of her wonderful and exciting youth years from her friends. Thankfully, she rarely elaborated on them. At the age of 22, Chava came to England to work and met the young, handsome, and magnetic personality Nachmi. It was literally love at first sight, and just 2 weeks later, they were engaged. 2 years later, Ilana was born. 4 years later, Karen was born. But in between, the real love of Chava's life was born. Danilu, as Chava would call him, my boo-boo. Danilu changed Chava's life, and because of him, the real star that Chava was able to shine and illuminate a dark world. It shone so bright that for 57 years it lit up the lives of so many people who Chava befriended and who were in desperate need of her help. Chava once told me, and I quote, "I was a young Israeli girl in a foreign country. I had never even heard of Down syndrome." Suddenly, for the first time in her life, Chava was alone, with no support from anyone. On the contrary, she was being advised by everyone to send him away so that people wouldn't see him. You have to cast your mind back 57 years to the then unaccepting world to understand what that must have meant to a young mother. But you see, Chava was no ordinary person. She was a beacon of light in a world of darkness. And although Chava had been brought up in a totally secular home, she knew that was not what God wanted from her. Remarkably, she kept him at home, loved him, cherished him, nurtured him, and by example, taught her family to do the same. She could have easily hidden herself from the world. That was not Chava Barsan. She made it her mission to support and help others who found themselves in a similar position to her. She gave them advice and help, but above all, she gave them love and acceptance. It is well known that right up to her unexpected patira, Chava was cooking meals for her children and grandchildren every week. What is less well known is that she was also cooking meals for local people less fortunate than herself. Some would come every week and eat supper at her house. Others would collect their food from her and eat it at their house. Chava's passion was sewing. She made herself her clothes and made others clothes and for the rest of the family, and helped her friends with alterations. sometimes staying up all night to do so. The word no literally didn't exist in her vocabulary. Chava once arranged for one of Danny Lou's Ravenswood friends to attend a family wedding, something this friend had never done before. But that wasn't enough. Chava made her a dress for the wedding, so she would look nice at the wedding, and in Chava's words, so she wouldn't stand out. You see, Chava viewed her tafkid in life to help others, and she fulfilled her mission admirably. From the moment I joined the Barsam family, Chava treated me like a son, which may not have been always that easy. I had a considerably easier task in treating her like a mother. Chava not only enriched the lives of her family, she also enriched the lives of so many others who needed her. And for few, her help made their life bearable. She was a remarkable lady. Chava's only real request from Ilana and I, and Karen and Clive, was to look after Danny Lou for her. I don't know if Chava is aware of today, but if she is, Chava, you can rest in peace in the knowledge that we are looking after Danny Lou for you. It was a privilege to be her son-in-law. Tehei Nishmasa Shura B'Tzvah Chaim.